Hello and welcome back to London. The euro dollar has been pushing towards the 140 region in recent weeks. So, is the common currency overvalued? Well, I've been speaking to Alistair Cotton from Currencies Direct. I just want to start with a really simple question. It's easy to look at the euro dollar, it's edging towards 138, 139, that sort of level, and say that the euro is overvalued at the moment. But if you look across a basket of currencies, how would you say the euro is currently performing? Is it fair value, undervalued, overvalued?
Getting towards overvalued, I would say. It's starting to cause pain for businesses in the Eurozone, which is probably the best measure of its over or undervaluation in the world markets. You can see some large companies reducing sales forecasts because the euro is moving up so much. So it's not too overvalued, but it is getting there. I'd say around about 140 would be the sort of threshold where it starts to get interesting for them.
But don't you think this excuse from Eurozone businesses is a load of rubbish, really, isn't it? It's just because their sales figures aren't as strong as they should be. They can surely factor in a move up of just a few percent.
I think you're right. The Eurozone is a fairly enclosed trading bloc, so they trade a lot with each other and not very much with the outside world. But the larger companies you're talking, they are fully global companies, and those are probably going to be contributing a large amount to that export sector. As soon as they are feeling the pain, then you could probably suggest that most of the companies in the Eurozone are going to be feeling exactly the same thing. So I would say partly yes, but it does matter, the euro exchange rate, absolutely, especially in such competitive markets as we got now.
Yes. So what happens here from the ECB? Clearly, they can't do what the SMB did. They can't do what the Bank of Japan are still doing. So what tools are open for the ECB? They
have a little bit of wiggle room with interest rates. They could drop interest rates, I would think. Possibly not a great deal, but we're talking a couple of 25 basis points or so. And I think also begin to talk about quantitative easing again on LTROs, that sort of stuff. It should allow the euro to sort of depreciate slightly. But it is dependent on what the Federal Reserve does.
But isn't the LTRO quite a risky move to make just to weaken the currency by a few percent?
Yes, but I think at the moment you've seen with the ECB over the last couple of months, talk is their main policy weapon at the moment. They may not actually follow it up with action. All they're doing is suggesting stuff might happen in the future. It seems to be working for them.
But do you really think that traders still listen to that? Because it's all bluff, isn't it? And surely once it's like the Peter cries wolf situation that it's been going on for so long that traders just ignore that now.
Yeah, but no, I don't think so. I mean, what you saw with peripheral bond yields, with the ECB saying we will do whatever it takes, they haven't actually done anything. They just needed to say that they might do something for it to be successful. And that's the way that the central banking works effectively. It's steering a path through something and not necessarily having to take any action to do it, sort of guiding expectations almost.
Yeah, there's been a lot of emphasis on the region's banks. Do you think that these stress tests are going to reveal a few skeletons in the closet, especially from the likes of Spain and Italy?
Yeah, there's a lot of non-performing loans still in the system that they need to get out, and it possibly the ECB revealing that might be quite a good tool to affect the currency. Not necessarily great for the banks themselves, but if you're going for a currency perspective, it would be one tool to use.
So what do you think is the next risk factor for the Eurozone? I think the last time we were here, we were talking about Silvio Berlusconi.
Yeah.
He seems to be finally out of the picture in terms of Italy. So what are we looking at for the Eurozone next, which is potentially going to spook traders?
Well, I think the data recently has been very good. It's been improving. I think that's also contributing to the Eurozone sort of the Euro's rise, I should say. As an aside, possibly the fact that there's been large inflows into the euro from the dollar, say, because of tapering talk, and those flows reversing could be a significant, have a significant impact on the euro going forward. Yeah.
Yep. So just to move forward and to finish off, what do you expect for the euro in the coming months in terms of against the pound and also against the dollar?
Well, I think large-scale movements in portfolios, which is what's been going on, they take a couple of months to get themselves sorted out. So I think the euro is probably going to continue to strengthen in the nearer term. The ECB, I don't expect, to actually take any action to stem that. They might talk, as we said and suggest things that might happen in the future should it continue to happen. But in the longer term, I think we're not in a different position really for the euro dollar than we've been in the last 3 years, where it's been up to 140, 145 and straight back down again. So I expect that trend to continue.
Well, thank you to Alistair for his analysis. As always, stay tuned to Dukascopy TV for more interviews, but for now, goodbye.